So just right off the bat, I want to tell you that today's video is going to be a bit of a heavier one. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna talk about this or not, but because it feels like it's too kind of personal, kind of real life, personal life thing to talk about on YouTube. Because nowadays, anyway, I mean, I used to overshare a lot, but nowadays I try and like just keep stuff private. But in the end, I decided I did want to talk about this because I feel like there's some aspects of this that are quite important to talk about and to discuss and to, I'm not going to say educate anybody because I feel like I'm not in a position to educate people. Like, I don't know the full details of stuff like this, but I just think it's worth talking about. And it's something that I want. It's just something that I obviously now, when you hear the story, you'll know why I feel so strongly about this. Now, I maybe had a different opinion of this stuff. Not really, actually, to be honest, but I hadn't formed such a strong opinion. I'm kind of waffling. So yeah, right off the bat, just to tell you, it's going to be a bit of a heavy topic today. So, also just to say, I just recorded another video before this. I was, because you'll see I like have the same clothes on and stuff, but I wasn't sure. Like that video, I had to get that video done. And I wanted to talk about that video and like, you know, life carries on and all that, but it is still in the back of my mind all the time. So this weekend, how do you even start this story? I don't have a plan for this. I just decided, like, last moment, yeah, I am gonna actually talk about this. This weekend, my sister's dog, Ella, was attacked. Right. My sister went for a walk with the dog and two of her kids, the two younger kids. And while on the walk, her dog was attacked by an XL bully. So I obviously didn't see this, but I got the story of what happened, and it was extremely vicious. This XL bully had escaped from its house. I don't know how. Don't know how that happened. I don't know how. It seems like nobody noticed the dog was gone because it was from the neighborhood and nobody seemed to be looking for this dog. I don't know. But it had escaped from the house, so it was obviously, you know, on its own, not on a lead, not under the control of its owner. And it had been, I guess, stalking them for a little bit until my sister noticed. And obviously, she had to prioritize keeping her children safe in this situation. And there was only so much that she could do as one person, and the dog was attacked. Her dog Ella was attacked by this XL bully. And the attack was not a fight between the two dogs, it was not a scrap between the two dogs. The XL bully went straight to kill my sister's dog. That is what happened, because it went straight for the neck, flipped Ella. Thank you, laptop. Flipped Ella, went for her neck, and she had puncture holes in her neck. It took. So I don't know if you've ever seen an XL bully. I have not seen one in person. I've seen pictures online, but there's a lot more of them around these days because people are breeding them a lot more for whatever reason. And these dogs are huge. They're huge. They're all muscle. They're bred to fight, you know, like people get them just because they look cool, but they're bred to fight. So they're huge, full of muscle. And like not too long ago, there was a whole story about one that killed a person here. So, but there's so many of them now because people think they look cool and they're just a cool dog to have. And they're not responsible owners. Gonna get into that. But it took, I think it was 4, it might have been 3, maybe 5. I think it was 4 grown men with sweeping brushes, because that was all they could get as like some kind of weapon. It took 4 grown men to pull this XL bully off my sister's dog. And then they managed that. Ella ran. And from what I heard, she made it about 15 meters. The XL bully got free, ran straight after Ella, pinned her down again, and started attacking her again. Somehow, Ella did not die from this. Somehow. I don't know how. But she was bleeding a lot. There was puncture wounds. My sister was handed the dog, who was bleeding and injured and breathing funny, brought it to her house, because they were just walking around the neighborhood, and they were trying to put towels to stop the bleeding, which included my oldest niece having to do that as well. So the two younger ones witnessed this happen, and then the third older daughter had to deal with the bleeding, injured dog. And my sister had to deal with the whole ordeal, so everybody's just traumatized. The dog horrifically injured. They obviously brought her to the vet. There was a lot of stuff that happened in between. I mean, vet bills are expensive on top of everything else. And I won't give you the full details because I don't feel like it's necessary, but like they tried their best to help Ella. They said it was like esophageal and tracheal lacerations, so like holes in her throat. She could not swallow food, so they tried to put a tube so that they could give her some food, and she could not swallow. They couldn't get the tube in to give her the food. A lot of other stuff. There was a lot of other things, and I won't get into it because I feel like it's oversharing at that point, but essentially the decision was made that the only thing that could be done was to put Ella to sleep, because otherwise she was going to be in pain, regardless of what they did. She was going to be in pain. It was going to be horrible, painful recovery for her, and there was no guarantee that there would be a recovery for her. Which, by the way, Ella was 5 years old, so she was not an old dog. So all of this is to say that, like, this is not me just telling this sad story just to make everybody feel sad. It is me wanting to talk about XL bullies, which is not something I ever thought I would be talking about. I guess I didn't spend too much time thinking about it, but like I said, here anyway, and I know in the UK, there's a lot more of them now. There's a lot of breeders, and they're talking about bringing in bans. I think they did get banned in the UK, I'm not sure, and they will be banned here as of February. I'm not necessarily saying that's the way forward, by the way. I don't know. I think the way that they're going about this is completely wrong. I don't understand why they're not going after the breeders. And it's obviously not the dog's fault. It is the owner's fault. And I don't know if the situation is the same in like other parts of Europe or in the States or like anything like that. I don't know. But if it is, and there are other dangerous dog breeds as well. Now these are a whole nother level of dangerous, but there are other dangerous dog breeds. And if you are not going to properly train your dog, you're not going to properly control your dog, if you are not equipped to handle a dangerous dog that does have the strength to kill a human, never mind another dog, you should not have a dangerous dog. That is just the end of it. I don't care if you think it looks cool. I just can't understand how people can be so, not just irresponsible, because it's obviously irresponsible, but so selfish that you have to have this thing because you think it's cool when you aren't going to train it, you're not going to control it. And in situations like this, what happens? I'm not talking about this specific situation. I don't this is all new, so I don't know what's happening going forward. I don't know the laws around this stuff, right? But what happens a lot of the time is if your dog attacks another dog, your dog gets put down. So now you have 2 dead dogs. This other dog isn't dead, by the way, the XL bully. I'm just saying this tends to be, from what I've heard, what happens in these situations. Like, the dog that attacked has to be put down. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's happening. But my point being, anyway, that this is entirely needless vanity. That you're getting something you're not capable of looking after properly and controlling because you think it's cool. And obviously there are some people who are equipped to handle these kind of dogs. But it's not the amount of people who have them right now. Clearly. How the hell did this dog get out of the house? How did nobody notice? How was nobody looking for it, running after it? Are you... I'm laughing because it's like, what the fuck? And yeah, so the Ella is dead because of that. Because of some person who couldn't control their dog. And probably shouldn't have had that kind of dog. And I mean, obviously the kids are all upset. My sister's upset. Everybody's freaked. Everybody's traumatized. And also, that's the neighborhood they live in. Like, they're going to have to walk around that neighborhood now knowing that there could be a dog like that just loose. I'm scared to walk in their neighborhood now. Like, that's how terrifying that is. Because like I said, it took 4 grown men to get that dog off the other dog. If that dog wanted to, could have killed my sister. Or one of the kids, you know? That's a fairly easy thing to do. Anyway, I feel like I've talked enough because I didn't want to sit here and, like, yap. I just felt like this is something that kind of needed to be talked about, and I'm not for, like, putting these dogs down or something. I just think that they should be in the homes of people who know what they're doing and have some kind of proper license to hold these specific dogs, because it's not the dog's fault, but they are strong and they need to be properly trained and controlled. That's just the end of it. So if you were thinking about getting one of these dogs, don't do it. Don't do it. I hope maybe in the future they go after the breeders, because they're the ones who are breeding these dogs, and not just, like, I don't know, putting dogs down, because I think that's equally tragic. But, like, yeah, just don't do it, because it's a horrible situation. It's just horrific. That's all, I guess. Bye.